personal care here on The Source. Of course you do.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 20 minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Wednesday morning. You know, it was just a couple months ago that you and I went to our very first wine tasting event.
Yeah.
Right? And it was at the Lake Ridge Winery, not too far from here. It was a nice place.
Very nice.
And I don't know anything about wine. I mean, what do I know? You know, who knows? You could even have a whole big book about wine. And I got one right here that we're going to talk about. So the event we went to was a very eye-opening event. We learned a lot. They grow a certain kind of a grape down here in Florida called, what was it called again?
Muscadine.
Muscadine?
Yep.
Muscadine grapes?
Yes.
I don't know. I'm not a wine guy. I don't know. But I have the wine guys on the phone, so I'd like to know what they think about the Florida wine. But they've written a book about California wine. So let's talk about that. The wine guys not only are experts on wine, but they travel a lot. See, they got the job, Rob.
I love this.
Look at this is what they do. They're teachers, they're hosts, they're award-winning journalists. They've been on the Today Show, the Martha Stewart Show, and Better TV. And they said, you know what? Now we really have to go to the top. Let's go on AM Ocala Live. So they're on the phone waiting to talk to us. The Wines of California is the book. Mike DeSimone and Jeff Jenssen. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. We're thrilled to be on with you today.
Good morning, Ocala. We're happy to be with you today.
Well, thank you so much. Hopefully I said your name correctly, Mike. Did I?
DeSimone. Yeah, I think you were about 98% correct.
98.
So
See, well, I had a little wine earlier. I wasn't so sure. Where are you? Are you both in California right now?
No, we're in New York City. We actually are based in New York, but obviously we spent a lot of time out in California when we were writing this book.
So I guess the first question is, who's the book for?
The book is for it's actually for people at all levels. It's for people. It sounds like you just went to your first wine tasting
I did.
recently. So it's for people who don't know a lot about wine, but are curious about it. And it's, really from beginner to people who have a good handle on it but want to know more. And there's even you can go really deep into the history and the geography and the soil and who does what. So it also can really speak to your super wine geek as well. Okay.
Now the basics of wine is obviously grapes. And when we went to this wine thing that we went to, they were talking about these Florida exclusive grapes, I think, right?
Yes.
So why is that? I mean, why? This is more of an agricultural question, but how important is the land? Like, why is California such a hotspot for wine, for grapes and wine?
Well, you know what? The reason California is good is because it's not such a hot spot. You need to have a certain climate that's a little bit cool at night. And, grapes are an agricultural product. You're absolutely right. And, we kind of think of it as, the highest form of agriculture to turn grapes into wine. But, grapes are really, dependent upon Mother Nature and the seasons. So you need to have, for grapes to concentrate their sugars and to have a good level of acidity and, be good for making wine versus, table grapes, you need to have good sunny days, but you need to have cool nights. So, Florida, wine is made in all 50 states. And, there's a lot of good wine made in every... I've had some wine from Florida that I really like. And, you're talking about, grapes that are a little bit sweeter down there because they don't get a chance to cool off at night. So you have some really nice wines with a good level of sweetness. So, bravo to you guys for making good wine in Florida. You're almost in subtropical weather there, but you're doing it right.
It's very fascinating to us here in town. We have a woman who it's a horse community here. So she wanted to create this special brand to our community called Horses Arse Wine. So she worked with that's right. So she worked with a winery out in California. How do you work with somebody like that, being across the country, to know that flavor is exactly what you want?
I know that, in terms of when you work with a consultant, and there's a lot of people in the world who, they call them flying winemakers. So, you start basically with the soil. So you have someone, like an agronomist or a viticulturist who somebody comes and says, well, this is the soil right here that's going to be the best for your grapevines, and they plant those. And then what happens is, you plant the grapes, and they're watched during the season, and then that winemaker needs to be out, and a lot of times things are checked scientifically, so you don't even have, so they can tell the sugar level and everything in the grapes and know when they're perfect for picking. But then the winemaker will generally come out at the point that they are making the wine and say, okay, we've got it, we have it right now, we've got the right alcohol level, we've got the right sugar level, let's turn the cold on, turn the refrigeration on, and stop the fermentation right now.
Right. And those are some techniques that are invented by some of the pioneers in California. Peter Mondavi Sr., and God bless the man, he's turning 100 years old this month. And he gave us an interview in the book, and we were so honored that, he took the time to give us an interview. We have interviews, and this is where we can speak to people who are interested in wine, because everyone knows the name Mondavi. But also, there's people like Bo Barrett, Heidi Barrett, all these wine geek people that, really appeal. And we were very honored that Michael Mondavi wrote the forward for us. So,
gosh,
we're really happy.
And just to sort out the Mondavis from the Mondavis, Michael Mondavi is the son of Robert Mondavi, and he actually is the owner of Michael Mondavi Family Winery. And Peter Mondavi Sr. and Peter Mondavi Jr. Peter Mondavi Sr. is the brother of Robert Mondavi, and they are the owners of Charles Krug Winery.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
my
the
gosh.
Mondavi family's big.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do I have so many questions in so little time. Why? This is probably a dopey one, but why is wine at the art shows and beer at the sports events? Why?
Yeah.
Why can't you have wine at a football stadium?
Yeah.
or beer at an art show?
I'll tell you this. It's really easy. It's an easy answer. Because beer, if you spill it on your shirt, it washes out. If you spill red wine on your shirt, it doesn't. So, you're more apt to stand up and cheer and scream for your team. So that's why they serve beer. And by the way, beer goes better with hot dogs. Let's just be honest.
You also have a lot of levity in your book, because your stories are so fascinating, but you manage to really connect with the people that you're traveling in their country to see.
Yeah, that's one of the things is that, unfortunately, and we can't figure out why, wine has a stuffy reputation. And, let's face it, wine, it's a beverage. It's something that people drink at parties. You drink it with dinner. So it really is something that should be for real people. It should be for everybody. So we really try to, to bring it down. We like to think that, we're real people, and we talk about real wine that is made for real people to drink and to enjoy with their family and friends.
Well, the one thing I can relate to is the fact that there are a lot of locations referenced in the book. Mm-hmm. And so if I go to California and I want to kind of visit some of them, I guess I would map it all out first of all, and then use your book kind of as a guide to which ones to pick. And I kind of like that. I like the idea that it's not just about the wine, it's also about the locations.
Well, we made it easy for you guys. We went north to south. So, go to California, fly in, and then you just drive straight down. But the thing we wanted to do is make sure that we covered, everybody knows Napa and Sonoma. But, like I said, there's good wine made in all 50 countries. There's good wine.
That would be states.
I'm sorry, all 50 states.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Not yet. I think some of the states are working on
that. I think if California was a country, by the way, it would be the fourth largest wine-producing country in the world, after Italy, France, and Spain. And I think that the people in California, God bless them, think that they're their own country sometime, the Republic of California. But that, and the same thing for New Yorkers. But that being said, I think the important thing was to cover the whole state. We went from north to south. We started up in Mendocino and went all the way down to the Mexican border, near the Mexican border in Temecula. And, we wanted to make sure we covered the whole state of California, not just Napa and Sonoma. So you're right. This could be a guidebook. You could have this in the front seat of the car, and you can just, get a pen and check off every winery that we have in the book. That would make for a really exciting year-long vacation.
Sure would. Thank you guys for being on. I'd love to know how you guys got together. We are out of time. The book is called Wines of California, The Comprehensive Guide. The website I have is worldwineguys.com. Is that right?
That is right. Yes, it is.
And the book's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, you name it.
Okay, worldwineguys.com. I do have a copy of the book, but I'll have to give it away after the break. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being on with us today.
Thank you.
Take care.
Fox News Radio, I'm Millian Wu. Turkey under pressure to take action as ISIS edges closer.
A senior Obama administration official reportedly blasted Turkey for not doing enough to stop ISIS from taking over the Syrian city of Kobani, which sits on the border of Syria and Turkey. The New York Times quoted a senior administration official as saying the coalition partner is dragging its feet to act to prevent a massacre less than a mile from its border.
Fox Radio's Rachel Sutherland. Federal appeals court today will consider the constitution